Welcome, everybody. Smash those likes. Let's get it. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and I'm back for another live stream today. Here we go on August 27th. Bitcoin's been moving. Altcoins have been pumping. 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫 is up another 35% just today alone. 86% up this week. Wow. Talk about some big headlines for 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫. Crypto.com really rocking the markets to the upside here for Crypto.com. In the meantime, Bitcoin is starting to make a push here off this daily open. We're just starting to see a lot of altcoins starting to move here in the last day or so, as Bitcoin has officially gotten back above the previous week low. Somebody said, 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫, if you don't know, man, you're late. You're late if you don't know what's happening here with 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫. So 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫, let's go take a look over here. See if I have the headline popped up somewhere around here. Should be, where is it? Quick little headline recap for 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫. For all of you guys out there wondering what is going on, why is 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫 up another 39% today? Where is it? Right here. So, you know whose media group is planning to raise $6.42 billion for a 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘 digital asset treasury, a major move to expand its crypto strategy. They're holding about 19% of supply. So that is going to be a major partnership between you know whose media group and 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗫, which is fantastic because they are also working on launching an ETF, which you see over here on the headline, right? They're trying to get an ETF as well. And I'm pretty sure I saw a few months ago that the whole deal is they want Crypto.com to be the holder, the middleman of the ETF, the one that's doing all the buying and selling through the Crypto.com exchange, versus right now all the ETFs are pretty much working through Coinbase, and they want to make a new partnership with Crypto.com to be running some of these ETFs that are potentially going to be coming out here sooner than later. So that is why 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 is up 40% today, again up 90% in the week so far. Major move to the upside. So not saying that we can't pull back, right? It's all going to be dependent on Bitcoin here. Officially yesterday was something we've been following up on with the Crypto Citadel, is that we have reclaimed yesterday. We got back above the previous week high, which was fantastic, right? Fantastic to get back above the previous week high. I've already told the Crypto Citadel, meanwhile, we stay above the previous week high, the higher we go, right? We are bullish. Meanwhile, we're above the previous week high, which is around the 110,560. We ran it all the way up to 112,330 yesterday. Then we started to create a downtrend throughout the Asia and London trading session, creating lower highs. We came out here during the London session, retested the previous week low, found support, so bounced back up. And then when the New York Stock Exchange opened, we have officially broken out of this downtrend and reclaimed the previous day range, range trend to the upside. We ran it up to the previous day high, swept this area. We took a short in the Crypto Citadel, came down to our TP1, which was our daily open, closed out for 221 smackaroons in the profit, which was fantastic. And now we're bouncing off this daily open, which is also the 382 from the current low to the current top right here from the London low. And is also the lower band of this previous day trend, which is holding up very well. So right now, Bitcoin is making a push towards that previous day high of 112,352. If Bitcoin reclaims this area, it reclaims this previous day high, it will invalidate this sweep, meaning we could be pushing up higher towards our targets of the weekly open of 113,511 to as high as 115 for Bitcoin. That has led Ethereum to be in a nice little tight uptrend here during the Asia and London trading sessions. We have reclaimed the previous day high for Ethereum, and Ethereum is struggling to break out. Bitcoin dominance still hasn't had a major recovery, a major drop of any kind. It's just kind of staggering around 58 and a little bit, right? and a little bit lower around the 57 something. But if Bitcoin does have this reclaim of the previous day high and we continue to see a push up higher for Bitcoin, I do expect Ethereum to finally be able to get off the leash and run towards this weekly open of 47.79, which would be fantastic. Fantastic. And obviously the Crypto Citadel is already well aware of what is happening, and they're up to date with all the signals and all the trades. Like I said, we already shorted Bitcoin this morning, made an easy 221 smackaroons from this high to this low of the daily open. Now let's jump into the chat here real quick. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. I want to say hello to the chat. Good to see all of you guys in here tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. Make sure you guys keep those likes rocking and rolling. Let's see here. Sure I'm not missing anybody. Do you give sell signals on XRP and the Crypto Citadel? We mainly trade Bitcoin and Ethereum in the Crypto Citadel. They're the easiest to trade, but we do cover XRP on daily trade setups, and we do cover them on macro long-term analysis, on weekly updates to find out where XRP is going. I personally myself don't really trade XRP, but I do keep up with the updates for the technical analysis and the trade setups for XRP for people that are XRP traders in the Crypto Citadel. So yeah, even though I personally don't trade them, I still do post the trade setups for them. And, you know, the trade setups, looking for targets, looking for, you know, entries, stuff like that. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all you guys continue to smash those likes. Let's see here. Is there more ETFs than stocks? No, there's definitely a lot more stocks than there is ETFs out there. Remember, guys, ETFs can be major accumulations, right, of other stocks and other things. But I think you're talking about crypto. Why are you talking about ETFs and stocks? Let's see here. Thoughts on Crow? Well, let's go take a look at the Crow chart. Crow's obviously been having a very massive move to the upside here, so definitely hit a lot of targets on the way up. This is not my chart. Where is Crow? Come on, man. All right, here we are. So Crow right now has had a major move yesterday. It ran all the way up to about 21 cents. Currently, we're around 27 cents. Next big target to the upside is 31 cents. Above that is 39. And then above 39, we have 60 cents. And that's pretty much all I have for legacy targets to the upside. As we get up higher, I will be looking for some more legacy targets to the upside. But in the meantime, 31 to 39 are the nearby targets for Crow. Now, if Crow obviously has a sell-off, if Bitcoin has a sell-off, it starts to pull back, Crow will not be immune to these pullbacks. Pullbacks to be looking for are between 23 cents to about 18 cents for targets of support on the way down. Bitcoin still trying to push here. ETH will go up now or still have a chance of getting it down. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is pushing up. Ethereum is not going to dump. Ethereum has been holding up extremely well, even with Bitcoin dropping all the way down. Did ETH just break out? What is ETH doing? Hold on. 15-minute chart here. What the heck was that? Who drew this on my chart? Probably have a good idea on who drew it. Let me jump here into the 15-minute. Where are we? Let me see here. Still holding up. No, for whatever reason, I thought Ethereum was having a big breakout. So right now, let's see here. So yeah, ETH isn't going to be dropping anytime soon, guys. Meanwhile, Bitcoin continues to push up higher, especially now that we've gotten above the previous week low. You know, there's always a chance of making a lower high around the 115 and dropping lower again for Bitcoin later in September. But meanwhile, Bitcoin is pushing to the upside. ETH will continue to push to the upside. Now, if Bitcoin breaks down and drops below, down to 105, then we could definitely see Ethereum dropping towards that low 4,000, maybe, mid $3,500 area, worst case scenario, if we drop to that low of Bitcoin around the 105. So keep that in mind. Definitely something that's possible. Bitcoin can still make lower highs. So it's definitely possible. If 𝗭𝗢 drops, will other altcoins drop too? Guys, 𝗭𝗢 is not a market mover. The market isn't pumping because 𝗭𝗢's pumping. And if 𝗭𝗢 drops, it doesn't mean that other altcoins will drop. If 𝗭𝗢 is dropping, it's probably because it's overextended. It's pumped over 90% in a week. And potentially Bitcoin could be having a pullback as well, which will, if Bitcoin is pulling back, all altcoins will pull back along with it. 𝗭𝗢 doesn't really run the market that way. So don't really worry too much. If Bitcoin is still pumping, but 𝗭𝗢 is dropping for whatever reason, don't think that the rest of the altcoins are going to drop. Do you still see all season this year? Guys, quarter four of every year is pretty bullish for crypto overall. So yes, I am still expecting a higher move for Bitcoin for the end of this year towards that 150 area, right? If Bitcoin pushes towards that 150, I do expect to see Ethereum at least near that 6K area, which I do plan on taking some profits. Obviously, that is going to spark an altcoin season and have alts pumping as well. So just keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. We can actually look at the Bitcoin returns here. Let it load in real quick. Come on. Let me just hit a quick refresh here. So you guys can see here quarterly returns for Bitcoin. Since 2013, there's only been 4 years where the quarter four return was negative. Every other year has been green. September and August are usually red months for crypto, for Bitcoin specifically in this example. But October and November have averages of 21 to 46% returns to the upside. So very strong returns to the upside for Bitcoin in October, November, which I'm expecting for it still to play out, which is why I'm bullish on quarter four of this year. Bitcoin dropping below that daily open now. Not bueno. Not bueno. Could it be dropping down to their second TP of our short? I mean, I say XRP goes to $5. Everyone's going to sell, and then it's going to go back down. $5 for XRP is realistic. It is possible. It's also a bit generous for sure. But anything's possible in a big altcoin season, one more leg up, right? Kind of scenario. But people that are looking for $10 plus for XRP are realistically delusional at this point in time. Like a $10 XRP would be over $1 trillion asset in this bull run alone to get all the way up there. I honestly do not believe, like Bitcoin's already pumped to 125. XRP's topped out around 366, and that was just, that pump only happened because they got the news of the lawsuit case finally being over, and it only pumped to 366 and then it dropped. This was the big thing that was suppressing the price of XRP for the last 5 years, right? The XRP price suppression is over. Yet XRP topped out at 366 and then started dumping, right? Started dropping all the way down to 277, 289, 290, whatever it was. Like, why? If the suppression is over and nothing is holding them back, why is this thing not higher, right? Why is it not immune to Bitcoin? Why is it that when Bitcoin pulls back, XRP pulls back? I thought XRP was different. I thought XRP was decoupled from Bitcoin and it was going to completely take over the space and yada, yada, and replace everything else. But none of that is happening. So realistically, $5 is more than enough. Can it go a little bit higher? Maybe, but that is honestly extremely generous at this point. Jump here into the chat. ETH going to 4 to 7K this year. I really hope so, man. That's what I'm aiming for. If Bitcoin does run towards that 150, I definitely see I definitely see Ethereum running to that 5,000 to 6,000. Right, we hit 5,000 practically on Sunday. We ran up to 49.53. right? We're less than $50 away from 5,000. I definitely think if Bitcoin runs for 150 by the end of the year, that we will have an Ethereum that is at or near 6K by the end of the year. So, definitely something to keep in mind here. When will the market crash? Well, right now, Bitcoin is above the previous week high, which is good. If we continue pushing up higher and get above this previous day high, right, of 112,352, we do have targets between 113.5 to as high as 115. At that point in time, we could be topping out, could be creating still a lower high from the high of 125, which is overall a larger scheme downtrend. If we look out here at the 4-hour, right, looking out here at the 4-hour, we have the high from 125. Then we have a series of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We tried to break out of these lower highs and try to hopefully make a higher low when Jerome Powell spoke last Friday, and we pumped up to 116, 117 area, but we rolled over, dumped even lower. We came all the way down to 108 and some change. Now we're back up at 112, right? 112, 111. Even if we pump all the way up to 115, we are still making a lower high. Our quarterly and monthly VWAP is above us at 116. That will act as resistance as well. So I do expect a pullback if we pump here up to 115, 116, and then potentially continue the downtrend to continue heading lower to the downside. Now, also on the negative side of things, today, we swept the previous day high, which is a reversal signal, which we shorted in the Crypto Citadel. We shorted this previous day high, rode it all the way down to the daily open, hit our first TP, closed out the trade for 221 smackaroons in the profit. Now, overall, these type of larger time frame, right, previous day sweeps could lead to a steeper downtrend, could lead to a steeper reversal down to the London high, all the way down to the previous week low again. Now, the daily open has been holding up very, very strongly here, but it's only a matter of time before this support gives out if we keep badgering it like we have for the last 2 hours. So just something to keep in mind, something to just be aware of. Let's see here. When should we sell? Yeah, 115-ish is definitely an area of interest to roll back over. Ethereum rolling over right now, dropping back down. Lost the previous day high, coming down towards that weekly average again. See, Bitcoin also rolling over. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all you guys smashing those likes. If you haven't already joined the Crypto Citadel, definitely do so and join. This is your last week to get 50% off the Crypto Citadel, where you get a 1-hour-long trading course, trade signals, live trading sessions, macro long-term analysis, daily trade setups, and exclusive indicators. It doesn't get any better than that. Do you think we will surpass the all-time high back from December? The all-time high for what? For Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin's already above that. Are you talking about Ethereum? Because we're above that as well. So what asset are you talking about, Dooley? What app do you trade on? I use Coinbase, trying to move into another platform. What do you recommend? Yeah, I definitely recommend you get off Coinbase. I use Blowfin. I use BitUnix, stuff like that. There's a few other ones that I'm going to be using here pretty soon. You mean alt market, like in general, alts? That's going to be rough to say. Some alts will, but not all of them. Some altcoins could definitely have the possibility of running for new all-time highs. Perfect example, right? Aero, Ondo doing very, very well. Solana doing very well. BitTensor doing very well. ADA holding up pretty strong. Uniswap definitely. Let's see here. What else? There's another one. Pendle is another one that is pretty much almost at all-time highs. Like Pendle has been doing extremely well. Been talking about this for a long time now. Let's jump out here to the daily. Right, Pendle's been on a very nice steep uptrend since the beginning of Q2. We've come all the way up as high as $6.20. The all-time high is $7.53. So yes, if we have, and we're currently sitting at 517. If we have another altcoin season, another big blast off during Q4 of this year, I definitely expect Pendle to hit new all-time highs above 753. But like I said, not all altcoins will do this. Some altcoins won't. Some altcoins won't make it. But definitely a good amount of them will. You just got to make sure you're in the right altcoins. You can't keep all altcoins forever. Not all altcoins will continuously make new all-time highs. See, like VeChain will probably not make a new all-time high. Might cover the December high, if anything, but probably will never make a new all-time high. Kenny, if you want to join the Crypto Citadel, there's a link in my bio. If you can't find it, just send me a DM and I will reply to you and I will walk you through it. But in my profile, there's a link where you can go find the Crypto Citadel. Is XRP price waiting for bank adoption? Wait a minute. I thought all of you XRP maxis were telling me that they already had the bank adoption. What else are they waiting for? They've been partnering with all these banks for the last 9 years, right? Worldwide, not just the United States alone, but worldwide they've been partnering with banks, because the lawsuit was only for the United States. The lawsuit wasn't for the entire world. The rest of the world could have still kept using XRP however they wanted. Now, if they haven't, it's because they don't find XRP as interesting as most people think it is. So just keep that in mind. Chronos will reach all-time high. Well, Chronos definitely has a chance of reaching some all-time highs with this big partnership that they're having, right? And if they start running and managing the new big ETFs, then yeah, absolutely has some big chances of hitting a new all-time high. If XRP drops to 70 cents, people will have a yeah, they will. Yeah, they definitely have they would definitely be panicking 100%, and they will. It will, guys. Do not think that XRP can't go below $1, because it definitely can. It definitely can. It's called the bear market, guys. Bear markets don't just disappear. It's not going to be up and to the right only. There will be bigger pushes to the upside, to the downside. Appreciate it, Oscar. Good to see you, brother. Bitcoin here once again. Now we're trying to drop below the previous day, the daily open. See if we get a 15-minute candle close below it. We've gotten a lot of wicks below here, but not a single daily candle, a single 15-minute candle to close below it. If we do start to close below the daily open, the drop down to TP2 and TP3 are on the way. What's going on with Doge? Let's go take a look at Doge real quick. Good old Dogecoin. Let's see here. Doge fighting that resistance at the monthly and quarterly VWAP. I can tell you that, around 22 cents. Definitely rough. So Dogecoin here overall kind of falling out of its uptrend from the last 2 months or so. Falling out of here. We are below the yearly VWAP. We are below the quarterly and the monthly VWAP, which is not looking good at all for Dogecoin. But Dogecoin is holding up as Bitcoin continues to pump up higher. Now, if Bitcoin continues to drop lower, do expect a drop down to 19 cents, potentially all the way to as low as 15 cents again for Doge if Bitcoin starts to drop towards that 100K or lower. Now, if Bitcoin continues to recover and continue to push up higher, you guys already know our targets here for the next big altcoin season for Dogecoin are between 32 to 36 cents. Those are the big targets. Above that, we have 52 cents, which we still have not tapped, even with the major altcoin season in November of last year, or with the major rally in March of 2024 either. So unless we're going to have a bigger altcoin season than ever before and Doge is going to make a higher high here, our targets are between 36 cents. We'll be taking a lot of profits on Doge around 36 cents and then letting the rest ride. Bitcoin trying to push back up above this daily open again. Let's see here. Change the color on the red stripe of your cap. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it to green. I have a green cap over here. I'm gonna wear it so it's on a green day. I'll wear the green cap, and on the red day I'll wear the red cap. That's smart. Good to see everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. So your ETH struggling here after Bitcoin had that little pullback, but once again, sweeping these lows here, finding some support. If Bitcoin can hold above the daily open, we might continue to push up higher. But if we start closing below this daily open here on the 15-minute, we could be starting to drop to these lower TPs for the Bitcoin short. Why would we, let's see here. Why would we have a larger alt season when ETF money doesn't flow into alts? I didn't say we're going to have a larger altcoin season. I'm saying if there was a large, like it would require a larger altcoin season than what we saw in November of 2024 for Dogecoin to hit that 52 cents area, which I think is very unlikely at this point. Can you check Ethereum Classic? Dude, are you trading that thing? But I hope you're not holding that thing. Do you think Bitcoin? Do you think major dump coming soon before actual rate cuts happen? Definitely possible. Definitely on the table. Like I said, we're closing out here the month of August this week. Next Monday will be September 1st. I do expect that there is a big possibility that we could rally up to about 115, 116 for Bitcoin. People get very, very excited, right? We do have some targets all the way up here. We get rejected off this quarterly, monthly VWAP area once again and start making a lower high from the 117 area back on the Jerome Powell speech day, and we continue the downtrend to the downside. That is still possible. We can still rally to 115. People get extremely bullish. We're back, we're back, we're back. And then Bitcoin rolls over and starts to make a lower low once again, potentially dropping us down to that 105 area, which would definitely freak a lot of people out. Then we get the interest rate cut, and then we start slowly climbing back up. So that is definitely a scenario that is being thought out, and we are game planning for in the Crypto Citadel. Please, I am long position on Solana. Should I wait till 31st before taking profits? 31st? Why are you waiting till a certain date to take profits? Let's go take a look at Solana here real quick. So, jumping out here to the 4 hour. Solana still on this upper band, right? Heading towards the upper band, towards the previous week high of 211, 212. If that area is rejected or swept, I do expect us to continue dropping just like we did earlier this week. We swept the previous week high of 212 and we dropped all the way down to 187, finding support around the monthly VWAP. And then we bounced again. So if we do something similar again around this 212, 213 area, that would definitely be an area to be taking profit or potentially opening a short to drop for XRP, for Solana to drop down towards this quarterly VWAP of 180 once again. Bitcoin having a very nice strong sweep of this daily open once again here, holding lots of strong support on this daily open for Solana. For Bitcoin. Let's see here. What's ETH doing? I am interested in taking a potential long on ETH here. ETH is also, still making higher highs. Lower highs. Higher lows, sorry. Higher lows. Let's keep going through the chat here. Is an XRP ETF coming anytime soon? How high do you think the pump will go if this happens? Like I said, I think $5 is realistic for XRP. That's my target for XRP. Can it go higher? Great for you. Honestly, not too confident on it going too much higher than $5. Thoughts on Avalanche? We'll cover Avalanche here in just a second. What about Sui? We'll talk about that in just a second as well. Bitcoin having a very strong close here for the 15-minute, back above the August low, back above the daily open with a big strong wick to the downside. Very interesting. Very interesante. All right, let's go take a look at Avalanche. Let's go take a look at Sui and a few other altcoins here. So AVAX. We like to say that it hasn't really done too much, still in the same area that it's been for quite some amount of time now. Still fighting the resistance at this $26 area. AVAX needs to get above $26 to make a run for that $30 price point. Once we're above $30, yes, we have targets between 36 to as high as 51. Until we don't get above 51, I'm not going to be looking for targets between 71 to this previous all-time high. So AVAX has struggled a lot to get above that $30 area all year long, and it's definitely struggled to maintain the $50 area. So I'm not going to get over bullish and say that it's going to 200 anytime soon. Now, if AVAX here continues to struggle, continues to drop lower, along with Bitcoin potentially pulling back, then yes, areas to look to the downside are 22 to as low as $19 for AVAX. Now let's go take a look at what else was it? Somebody said something else here. Let's go take a look at SUI. Let's go take a look at SUI here. So SUI holding up really strong as well. Doing very, very well here. Turn this trading indicator off. SUI finding support on this yearly VWAP around 334, right? If we lose the yearly VWAP, targets to the downside are between 318 to 292. To the downside, a worst case scenario, we could drop all the way down to 220 on a big Bitcoin pullback. But these are the areas of interest that I want to see hold. I don't want to see it drop below 290. Now, targets to the upside remain the same. 481 is still the main target for SUI to the upside. Can it run higher towards all-time highs? Yes, SUI is definitely one that's on the cards for a potential new all-time high later this year with an altcoin season. Bitcoin here pushing up higher. Not a surprise. Holding up very strong here. Let's take a look here. He's trying to follow along. Can't really keep up too much. 𝗭𝗢 in the next few months is going to be ridiculous. Could be. Don't get overly bullish on it. But yes, it could definitely make a run for some legacy highs towards that 60-cent area or higher if the partnerships continue to build and continue to keep the momentum of it going. You're awesome. Thanks for the advice. High five from Bill. Good to see you, Jose. I hope all of you guys are joining the Crypto Citadel. This is your last week to get 50% off your first month. If you're not going to join now, this is your last chance, man. Let's see here. Render. Whoa. Somebody was really spamming render. Okay, let's go take a look at render here. Let's bounce out to the daily. So render still within its previous 6-month range, struggling to get back above the quarterly VWAP around 380. We have been below the yearly VWAP all year long. Very few times back in May, we actually broke above it. Could not hold it as support and lost it again. Lost it in July as well. So getting above 448 is very critical to start getting above that yearly VWAP. Then above that, our targets remain the same between $5.57 to about $8 with a gold pocket up at $8.61. Those are the targets for render to the upside. If render continues dropping to the downside, we still have a target down at 241. Really don't want to see a drop down there for render, but so far we're holding the 333 monthly average as support, which is good, but we need to get above this yearly VWAP of 446 to get some bullish momentum going. Bitcoin having a nice push to the upside here, coming for that invalidation of the Bitcoin previous day high sweep. Very nice. Good to see all of you guys in here. Good to see all of you guys smashing those likes. Ready for September 1st? Always ready, bro. You know how it is. We're always ready. That's what we've been waiting for in the Crypto Citadel. I'm in a short on Solana. Nice. Good to see you, Visual. Crypto Citadel member OG in the house. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Bitcoin pushing. Bitcoin's pushing for that previous day high. Good to see all of you guys in here. Good to see all of you guys smashing those likes. All right, guys. XRP price prediction, like I said, I think $5 is realistic for XRP, but outside of that, not too much more. You know, it's going to be very dependent on ETFs and all kinds of approvals and stuff, because everything else on XRP is pretty much a bunch of fugazi. All right, guys, I appreciate. Oh, Bitcoin's still making a move here. Bitcoin looked like it was stalling out there for a second. ETH trying to follow along, trying to break out of this previous day high once again. Very interesting here. Cardano price prediction. Realistically, for Cardano, I'm looking between $1.20 to $1.75, maximum like 215 ish. There's definitely some targets a little bit higher than that, but you know, 215 ish is overall pretty bullish. Unless something big happens where Cardano gets put into some type of ETF. You know, we've seen a few moments in time when they've talked about Cardano being in the reserve or whatever it is, and you know it's skyrocketed its price. But targets are between 120 to 178, very realistic, and then 215 and above would be extremely generous and fantastic. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all you guys smashing those likes, guys. I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Appreciate everybody in here hanging out. Smash those likes, hit that subscribe, join the Crypto Citadel. This is the last month to get 50% off using the code Citadel when signing up. So make sure you do so. We do live trading sessions in there every morning. So make sure you guys are joining the Crypto Citadel. Until next time, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading these blockchains. I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.